Hey everybody, and welcome to Nerd Dad's Gaming Lair. Tonight we're going to take a little detour. And we normally play games on this channel. Tonight we're going to be making one. So I'm sure almost everybody out there has heard of or played Roblox. So we're going to be working on my first Obby in Roblox. So we're using Roblox Creator Studio. Uh, the point of this Obby is called escape the virus. So obviously, with the temperature of the world in 2020, viral infections are a big deal right now. So it's kind of I'll just lay out my thought for you. So it's kind of like your day-to-day adventures in the world of coronavirus in 2020. You go to the store, you take special precautions there. You might go in the store and extra precautions there, and then you're quarantined in your house. So there's several different layers of this that I want to build. So I started with the parking lot of your neighborhood Blocksmart. So some stuff I've already done. I've put a little bit of time into it already. Laid out the road here, a little curb with some nice trees, a barrier. I laid out several rows of well-made car models. I'm not going with anything too janky here. Kind of want it to look nice. I've got some cart returns loaded with carts. So the idea is that you're going to enter, kind of the drive-in entrance of this store, and you're going to make your way zigzagged up and down the aisles. You're going to go real fast, and then eventually you're going to get to the door of the Blocksmart. And when you get to the door of Blocksmart, we'll build a whole other section for inside the actual store. But for now, we're just working on the stuff getting there. So I have a couple of levels already built in it. You'll see that's my initial spawn point. I put a nice little car here, because one of the points of an obby is that if you don't make it, you die, essentially, and you have to start over. So I needed some kind of, ground cover. So I chose water for this, and I got a fire hydrant model and a wrecked car model, and I thought, I'll just make some water flow out of this thing, and we'll put some store appropriate items in the path here. And I threw a little hazmat guy in and a hazmat truck just for good measure. I kind of wanted to make the channel a little bit narrower, so I thought that'd be a good take on it. One of the jumps is on, of course, a container of toilet paper. Gotta have the toilet paper in 2020. And, I'm trying to make it as thoughtful as I can, so I put a drain here for the water. Also, at every checkpoint, there's not only the standard checkpoint pad, there's a fully working hand sanitizer station at every checkpoint. So that is the checkpoints in this obby. The next level goes into a world of trash here. So there's a bunch of trash on the ground. Piles of carts that you have to jump on, more toilet paper, of course, gotta have toilet paper, more piles of carts, and I thought it'd be cool to do one of those things that has the barriers that you have to jump and kill you if you hit them, but I don't want to do that on my trash, so I let a bunch of cardboard, and then put those on top of the cardboard, into another pile of carts, into some trash containers and bags of trash, and then you have to climb up the light pole and over onto this bag of trash right here, and then that's the checkpoint for the hand sanitizer station there. So I'm only 2 levels into this obby. I want to come out on the end of this with 50 or so. I think if you've never used Roblox Studio, it takes a minute to get used to. I've used things like Unity Engine before. Roblox Studio is really minimalistic, but there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. So we're going to start on level 3. And my thought for level 3, and feel free, leave some comments if you have some opinions on anything I should add. But my thought for level 3 is we've done a lot of jumps, container jumps and stuff. I think what I want to do for level 3 is some balance beams things on top of it. So I'm going to build, probably reusing some of these crowd panels over here. I'm going to build maybe a ring, a separator, and fill it full of people. And you gotta climb over the people, and if you fall into the people, obviously you're infected, right? So that's what I think I'm gonna work on here. So I'm gonna go grab some models. And for this, you can't see it because I've got it all spread out, but I have the studio portion over here where I'm doing my actual containerization for this layout. I'm trying to keep it as thorough as I can. So let's see if I can just dock this back in here real quick. All right, we'll just dock it back in, and we'll do it all in one window for now. Ah, it got real small. Okay, there we go. That way you can just see it all. Why not? Um, so let's see. Toolbox. There's this. I'm gonna pop my. Well, I don't need to pop that out. I think we're good. Yeah, we can filter. So you see, that's where I get my models from. They have a pretty good model selection library. Anyway, I know that I've got, so I've got this one's parking lot. Let's make a new level. Insert object folder, 3. 3. So we have a new folder. I know that my barriers were in level 1. Let me go find one of those. I think they're the mesh part things right here. Where's a good old mesh part for me to have? Boom. All right, we're gonna duplicate this mesh part. No, didn't want to do that. Keep clicking the wrong button. Negative. All right. All right, duplicate this mesh part. All right. Now I'm going to take this mesh part and I'm going to drop it into 3, and then we're going to relocate this thing over to its new home. They're really hard to grab because there's just not a lot of meat to grab onto. So I'm going to have to like take it with me. It's not going to be fun. This is the most rudimentary way of moving it across the map, but that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to just drop this over here, I think, and then we're going to make some kind of like ring out of these to where it's like a crowd control device. So we're just going to duplicate this a whole bunch of times, really. It's kind of cool because they have these little like linkages on them, so you can actually make it look like it's, I don't know, like it's made to go together more so than some other things. Anyway, we're gonna try to work the linkages here, make it not look so janky. One of the goals is, I mean, I've played some obbies in Roblox, and not all of them are well made. Not to knock the developers of said obbies, but some of them are just really badly put together. They don't take the time to like think through the why of the levels. They just throw a bunch of random parts into these things and call it a day. I'm not going to be that person. I want people to enjoy playing it and think, wow, this is a well thought out, pretty obby. Someone took some time and thought about these things. It wasn't just random. Because for sure it gets random in some of these people's obbies. Like, it's the same stuff over and over and over again. None of it looks pretty. It's really like just block parts. I'm not into that. So we're gonna do a good job here. All right. So we're gonna link a couple of these together. I'm gonna make a pretty big area, and it's just gonna be filled with like sick people and things. So you don't want to fall into it at all. And then we're gonna put some kind of like clear block on top of it, and I'll write some scripting that when a player falls onto said clear block, that is the trigger for their health to 0. So you won't actually be able to see that as the player. You're going to be on top of it the whole time, but it'll be completely transparent. And when you fall into it, it will still have mass. So when you fall into it, it will act as a solid even though you didn't know it was there till you fell. And that'll give us a nice little, it'll make it look pretty, yet also be functional. Which is my point. All right. So we have a nice little crowd control barrier front here. I think we could probably go ahead and start building the aerial stuff. So I'm not a fan of just throwing up some, random things and calling it a day. I don't want to just use parts that have nothing to do with the theme of this obby. So, like this lamppost over here, I use that as a cross beam. So I think I'm going to wind up using another lamppost. Let me grab a lamppost from 2. That one, I believe it's not called part, is it? No, it's called, what is it? Model? Yes, it's model. Descriptive names, duplicate. So we're going to duplicate model, and we're going to drop that into 3. I could take the time to rename a bunch of this stuff, but I'm just not gonna. Not gonna happen. Alright, I'm gonna rearrange this new one. Try to get it as straight as possible. So I can pull it over here. Because if it's not straight, see, it only pulls on the axis which you have. And it becomes a real pain if it's not straight. Alright. So we're going to knock down another lamppost over here. And what I did is I just made, like you can see on this one, I did like a concrete cylinder and the lamppost coming off of it. So I'm going to do kind of the same thing over here on this end. I want more rotation though, because this is going to be how you get onto the aerial components. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to rotate it a little bit this way as well, so it's easier to jump onto. And then we're going to move it down. Moving it down is rough after you've done the rotation, but we'll get it. So we're going to move it over, down. All right, there we go. Now let's set a pad here. So for part, we're going to use a cylinder. We're going to rotate this cylinder upright, and then we're going to scale it to be a little bit bigger around. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then we'll move it over here. All right, so you get the gist, right? Like it's a knocked over lamppost. At least it makes an effort to be what it is. Also, we're going to anchor this, because if I don't anchor these things, it will float all over the map, and then it will be a real pain. So there's that. Now, I think... Hold on, let's get some caution tape. I think I want some caution tape like hanging off of this, and that's how you actually get up to it. Sounds like a good idea to me, anyway. We can use one of these stretchable caution beams, potentially. Yeah, I think we can use a caution beam. How about we use a caution do not enter sign, too? I like this sign. Yeah. It's going to be all kind of like post-apocalyptic. It's not exactly coronavirus. I mean, nobody is this terrified of coronavirus. But I'm not being specific to corona. I'm giving all the viruses love. It's not just corona. Caution. Do not enter. Right? There we go. 3. Clear warning for players. Don't do this. And we're going to use a caution bar. That's just caution tape. I wonder if you can stand on this. That would be so cool if I could. I'm going to use caution tape. I'm going to try to stand on it. We're going to place this, and then we will absolutely try to stand on it. We'll do a test play and see if it lets you stand on it. Because that would be so cool if I could use this. Almost like it's hanging off the lamppost, is my thought. And I can stretch it however I need to. Okay, we're going to turn it on this axis. Move it again. Alright, so that's my relation to the lamppost. I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to have to rotate it a bit more in that area. And I want to give it pretty steep angles. I'll use 2 pieces. It's not a problem. Alright, so that is kind of laying on there. And we're going to scale it out a bit. The cool thing about this caution tape model particularly is that it lets you scale it and doesn't have a problem. Alright, we're going to insert another folder inside of 3, and we're going to call it path. And we're going to put all the caution tape inside of that so that I keep track of it. Duplicate. Alright. So I know that I have that much angle of incident there. So this one I can scale back a bit. Alright. I'm going to get a little bit more incident angle. I'm going to rotate this one up. Give it a little less steep of an angle, and I'm going to move it up. here. And then we're going to make them touch, but not overlap too terribly so it doesn't look horrible. All right. Now I wonder if I can climb on it. I'm going to try. All right, let's save it. Save. All right, and we're going to play from here. So I'm going to try it. Just before I get too far down the road with this caution tape, we're going to play here. It takes a minute to load, and because I'm using so many realistic models, it's takes a minute to load. And even once you're loaded in, it's a little glitchy for a minute till it catches up. But all right. So it's kind of the cool part. I wish this part worked better in Creator Studio. It's not ideal. Okay, there's my character. You can tell it's a little glitchy, right? So it takes like a full minute for it to not glitch out on me. All right, it's starting to get there. Tell me I can climb it. No, no, I can't. I can't climb it. I can absolutely climb it. Yes. We're gonna use caution tape. I wonder if I could give it better properties. No, it works fine. Okay, it's perfect. We're going to use a bunch of caution tape. So you're basically going to climb over this crowd on a sea of caution tape. I think that's cool. So we'll put some different things. I may like drop a car in there or another hazmat truck. Hey, I think I'll drop another hazmat truck. That's cool. We do that. And you got to climb on top of the hazmat truck. Yes. Yes. All right. So the hazmat truck. Hello, Kinshiro. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thanks for watching. If you have any ideas, let me know. Totally up for ideas on this obby. I know this doesn't look like much yet. Let me go find that. Let's see. Cars. I don't know where we put that thing. Did I put it in storefront? Maybe I can just go click it. Maybe if I click it, it'll make my life easier. All right. Nope. Can't click it. Where are you, truck? Barriers. Ah, Rescue SWAT 12. There it is. Duplicate. All right, so I'm going to take another one of these. I'm going to drop it into levels. Come on, levels, open up. I'll drop it into levels, into 3. All right, now we'll move it. We'll move it out of the way so I can grab it. Ah, come on. Select. Let me select you. Squad 12. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it really gives me a hard time with moving objects sometimes. It really does not want to do it. We're going to have to rotate this because it's not going to... Well, I think I can move it out of the way. We'll make it move across all of its car buddies here. So I'm just going to drop one of these kind of, I don't know, in this row of vehicles maybe. So the idea is that I want the caution tape to not just be randomly strewn across the air, right? I don't want it to be just totally random. I want it to have like points of contact with actual things. Would be real helpful. So that'll be the end, right? So that'll be where the caution tape ends because we're going to do more down this row of cars. So we will end the caution tape at the rescue vehicle. Make sure that is anchored. Make sure these are anchored. Yeah, it's not a school bus. It's like a hazmat truck. It kind of goes with the theme of some caution stuff. I liked it because it was yellow and it matches this little hazmat dude that I put here, and it says caution biohazard. So it's kind of going with a hazmat theme. All right, the caution tape is properly anchored, so we're good. So if I was an aerial object in a parking lot from whence to climb, what would I be? Maybe I'm a light. Let's see. Maybe I am a light. Let's find a lamppost. I saw one earlier that may fit this bill. If I can find it. There was one that kind of looked construction-y. Almost like I'm thinking like the ones that they roll in for construction sites with the quad lights on the top. I'm thinking that. It's kind of where my mind's going with the envisioning of this. I saw one earlier. Let me just try a lamp. I know it exists. Wherefore it exists, I do not know. A police tower would be good. I don't know what they have for police. I think it's going to be like awful generic with the police stuff in this game. I put a helicopter in there. Police dog. I mean, there's different signs and stuff. Caution tape. I don't know. I'm kind of dependent on what other people have built for sure. All right, so I was looking for instruction light, maybe. Yes. Okay, so they have these like stand-up pole lights. Or here, this is what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. Someone has taken the time to make this for me. I appreciate people for sure and make this so much easier because that would take me forever to build. Just generate on my own. Okay, I'm gonna try to get it. There we go. To touch the ground properly without being. It's down too far. All right. So we're talking about that right there. Take this floodlight and drop it in 3. So we're gonna hang some caution tape. Let me rotate this a bit off the top of the floodlight, I think. Where do I want this? Yeah, I'm thinking I might do a police station at some point in here. Like I said, I'm shooting for 50 levels. So it's entirely possible that I wind up doing something like that at some point. I'm thinking hospital too. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking that's a good spot. So more caution tape. So I'm going to string caution tape over here, and then I'm going to make you kind of zigzag over to the truck. I'm not going to make it too easy. I had my daughter play. She's like a super huge fan of Obby's. I had her play this a minute ago, the first 2 levels, and she's like, "Daddy, it's really hard." So I'm gonna try. I want it to be challenging. I don't want it to be simple. Um, for sure, I want it to be a bit of a challenge. Okay, I'm trying to do this without it looking like crap. Because I really I just dislike playing obbies where nobody's taking the time to think about how things actually look in here. All right, I don't know about that. I'm kind of not a fan of the incident angle there. Wish I could make that better. I don't know that I can. Let's bring it down. Okay, that's probably going to be as good as I'm going to get. And then we'll do another one, and we'll kind of make it come up a bit, and I may make it go over a bit too. I'm going to change my rotation to not click, so I get free rotation realm here. All right, we'll do that, and then we'll come up a hair. Oh, I don't want to side-to-side rotate. Wrong axis. All right, we'll give it a little bit of an upward angle, and we'll move it up. Okay. Yeah, and so I'm also going to I'm not going to make people pay for things in this obby. Now you play those obbies where it's clearly thrown together for someone to make money on the microtransactions. That just kills me, man. Like, let people have some fun for free. I mean, there may be a point in time where we add little things. Like, I think it'd be kind of cool to have masks in here. Different ones. But I'm not gonna nickel and dime people to play my obby. People do that constantly. What's up, Jeremy? Alright, so let's put this down a bit. And I have to change my rotation. I'm going to bring it to the left. We'll do this. Move it over. Move it up. And then scale it back. Alright, so my angle is going to be better like that. Okay, that's better. And then we'll do a scale to bring the end of that caution tape back a hair. Alright, so that's kind of the path. There's one path. So there's caution tape like strung from the ground here. And I may actually like throw something. I may put like a cone there. Yes, construction barrel. Perfect. Ooh, it's even shiny. Alright. We're going to drop that in 3. Do some movements on it. I just don't want it to look like that is out of nowhere, so. And it's hard to, with this asphalt, it's super hard to see when you are touching the base of something. Alright, so we're going to rotate it. I'll do this one with degrees. I'll put it there. Alright. So that there, and then we're gonna go back a little bit. I may do another light. So I know I'm gonna end up here. So my idea is look at the overview. I'll just take my mouse. So you're gonna walk up here. I want to come back here before I go over there. I want to make it a nice firm zigzag. That way it's a little bit more difficult. I don't want it to be super simple. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill in, I'll make this over to the truck a little bit more. And then I'll barrier off this side as well. But, okay, so let's see. How about an ambulance for this other one here? I like this red one. See what she looks like. And somebody spent so much time making these things. Aw, they spent so much time and then they didn't decorate it at all. It doesn't look like an ambulance. It just looks like a truck. Alright, yeah, we'll do this. That's fine. We won't get the red one. We'll go with generic ambulance number 2. Okay, so you see the wheels hit at different times. That's alright. Hopefully no one's close enough to this to notice that, because then they would be dead. Alright, we'll put it there. So you're going to have to go from there to the light, to the ambulance, to the hazmat truck, and that will be level 3. So let me add a little bit more caution tape. Make sure that all my stuff is anchored. I have this bad habit of not anchoring things, and then when you start it up, like that one right there, what's this model? Oh, I did not anchor the sign. Then when you start it up, you find that stuff just floats all over the map because you didn't hit anchor. Duplicate. Especially in an obby like this where there's so many floating components, it's impossible to keep up with what all has a constraint and what doesn't. A lot of stuff does not have constraints in this format. All right, we're gonna go down a bit. Have that. We'll scale it up a bit. I don't want to make that stretch too hard. We'll let it sag in the middle. So we'll duplicate it and move it out. You're tricky, Jeremy. All right, so I'm gonna set one. Man, let's see if I can. Ooh, it leans a little too. I didn't realize it had a kilter. Let's kilter it back. Let's make it twist on them. All right. So let's move it up. It's gonna be weird. Let me rotate it down a lot. um, so I'm gonna just make it hit the top of this ambulance. Okay, let me look at this from the side. So I want the end of this one to be lower than the current end of that one. I think that'll work. Now, if I duplicate this and I pull it back, I should be able to do a rotation and then do scales. All right, so there's my rotation. I think that's too much, actually. Yeah, it is. Let me back it off a bit. All right, back it off a bit, and then I'll scale the ends so that it doesn't look like junk. There's that, and this one. All right, so there is one little jump. So you climb up there, you go over to the light, you go over to the ambulance. Now you've got to go over to the hazmat truck. So we'll take the last one that we entered, actually second to last one that we entered, duplicate it, pull it over and rotate. I think I'm just going to start actually at the hazmat truck because it's higher. And that lines up pretty nice. Make it, yeah, that'll be okay. We'll leave that one there. It's a little bit twisted too. Okay, duplicate. Make this one go down. Down, and we'll twist it back. All right. And then another one. And we'll make this one go up a bit. And we ought to be able to line up pretty good here shortly. All right. So we're going to make that one do this and that. And then let's scale it out on this end. Ah, just barely. Okay, let me move it up. You know, that's not terrible. I might scale it a little bit more. I'd like to make the ends meet over here. I think I can. All right, so if I rotate it a bit that way and I move it this way, I can nearly get the ends to touch. How does this one look? Not bad. All right, so the ends nearly touch under here. And if I take that one before it, let me find it. All right, let me scale this one back. Okay, so there's that. All right, so that's the path. And then from here, we'll make the next hand sanitizer station like right here in the middle of this aisle. All right, so now I'm going to try it real quick. So we're going to save it. Make sure this is doable and functional. And then we will go complete some of the stuff. So let's test in place. I have to wait a minute again. And then we'll see how that works. I'm really hoping it works well. So that would be kind of cool. And then I've got to come up with another idea, and I'm probably not going to do it tonight. I've got to come up with another idea for that middle aisle there. But we'll go finish the constraints and fill it full of people for level 3. But, I mean, admittedly, it's going to take me forever with this much thought per level. But, I mean, I think it's worth it, right? I want people to be happy when they play this and think, wow, this is cool and well thought out. Not, this was thrown together in 2 days. That's why I picked such nice cars. I don't know what it'll do for the load time, though, because this is the first time I've ever made a Roblox level from... I would have died. Level from scratch, right? All right. Not too bad. Pretty simple. All right. So I would stay here, and then I jump down, and my hand sanitization would be somewhere in this area. And then number 4 will be out here. Yeah, I could do a ladder. I might do something else. Since that's a hazmat truck, I thought if it was an ambulance, I could do a stretcher. But since it's a hazmat truck, I'm not so sure. Anyway, let's go do more of these barriers, and then I'll build the invisible "don't fall into this brick" that will trigger your death if you do. So I've got path. Where's my last mesh part? There's my last mesh part. Duplicate. So there's going to be a whole lot of this. Move, and then we'll rotate it. That's one bad thing about Roblox Studio. There's not a lot of shortcuts to this stuff. It's mostly just placing it by hand. Like Unity and some other 3D applications that I've used, you can script this kind of stuff out. There's really not much scripting this out. But it's made for simplicity. So it's made for people who don't do this often. People who have probably never used software like this before. It's a whole new thing to them. But to make it easily accessible. Also, they do a lot of education with this. So my daughter Peyton did a lot of coding school, and this was one of the curriculum things they had at the coding school was create Roblox levels, which was pretty cool. She didn't get that far with it before coronavirus, and the school had to do different things and whatever. But it was pretty neat that it was on the docket of things they could learn for sure. Anyway, we're gonna throw some more of these together. Couple more. I'm gonna make it just match up to the back of this hazmat vehicle. Really, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be too picky about it. Yeah, sure. Why not? They can't get any further than that because of this invisible barrier here. So that's good for that side. So on this side, what we'll need to do, we'll figure that out when we get there. Because I'll have to come back around this edge anyway, so we'll figure that out. Let's populate it with some people. What do you think? Let's just drop a whole bunch of dudes in here. Duplicate. No, I don't want to duplicate that. My bad. I should not have ever hit duplicate. Delete. I wanted to add an object, a folder. And I want to rename it. Crowd. All right. So, being that we have an ambulance and a hazmat truck, I think that it would behoove us to utilize some paramedics. So there's a paramedic. He's styling. Look, there's like paramedics with a stretcher. Wow, that dude's even like prepped for virus. I love it. All right. So this is several people. We're going. Come on, man. Let me multi-select you. Group, please. All right, model. Now we put it in crowd, and we'll move this as a whole. I really don't care where they're arranged, to be honest with you. The one downside to using people in Roblox, all right, almost had it. There we go. Is that it puts their name tag all over the place. I'm gonna have to go turn their name tags off. All right, so we'll put those guys there. If I go Isabella does not need a name tag. Let's look at humanoid. Always off. Oh, no, not it. Not it. None. There we go. That's what I wanted. No name tag for you, Isabella. All right. That's out of that. All right, so we got some paramedics there. Let's look for a hazmat dude again. Maybe there's a different one. There's one with guns. I don't think we're that far into this. Okay, we'll just get this guy again. He's the one I used before. It's just called starter character. Put him in crowd. All right, and we will put him down here. So what I'm going to do, I think, is just make some clusters of people. I'm not necessarily going to make a bunch of unique characters, but might make groups of 3 or 4 and then spread them out through this area. Probably need a couple of this guy. Let me edit his nameplate real quick. No reason to see his name. All right, starter character. Lowly starter character. All right, duplicate. Since there's a truck, we're going to say there's a couple of these guys. One at either end of the truck. There we go. And then some paramedics. All right, so let's get some people. I don't know if anybody looks cool. Moving people? Bunch of people? People? What does moving people look like? Let's see how terrible this is. Oh man, there's a whole boatload of them dudes. Loads of moving people. I mean, that sounds exactly like what I'm after. Loads of moving people. All right. Let's put a group there. That was simpler to find than I thought it would be. I thought I'd have to make this stuff. Put a group of them there. All right, nobody's behind anything. I will have to come turn all their nameplates off, but I'll do that. Let's duplicate that and put it back in 3 in crowd. Put another group of them over here. Duplicate. Relocate them to here. Put them around the paramedics. We'll do some rotation. I don't want to get in the way of the paramedics. Okay, we'll just move the paramedics. I think that'd be better. Make way for the crowd. Put those guys there. And then I don't know that I have. And there is a whole boatload of people. Various names. Yeah, I mean that would be okay, right? Let me get some more people. Can I just rando select people? I only want half of you. Can I do that? Yeah, I think I can do that. All right, so let's duplicate them again and put them over here. Rotate them a little more. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. The Earth is off its axis. All right, so we'll just put a crowd of people here. All right, and the people that cannot fit, I will individually remove. Can do that by just clicking them, and if they're super close to anybody, I will delete them, and they are forever disappeared. Delete. Drew, get out of here, Drew. Lynn and Luna, they're all over it. Lynn, get out of here. Luna, you too. You're not welcome. Nikki, that's my wife's name, but I'm going to get rid of that one anyway. Don't take any offense. Joe. Susan's all up in it too. Susan, Lisa. Susan and Lisa gotta go. At least Susan and Lisa. I could lay one on the stretcher, actually. Who wants to get it? We're going to put Lisa on the stretcher. Come here, Lisa. Your time has come. Why are you so tall, Lisa? Boop. Oh, no, wrong rotation. There we go. There we go. Lisa's out of it. Lisa's partying on the stretcher. All right. So, that's my crowds of people. I will minimize this. I've got, dang it, I hate when that happens. All right, minimize that. I need to make barriers now. So I actually call this traps. traps. And what the traps are is the areas where if you were to fall into it, you would die. So I'm going to make these out of just random, like standard items, basically. The one consideration is it can only be so tall. That's fine though. Yeah, not a big deal. All right, so let's scale this, and then I will change. I know this is not going to be super accurate at the moment, but we'll change the coloring and things shortly. I'm going to try to go to the edge as far as I can so I don't have to do too many shapes. Ah, dang it. Got the wrong people. So there's that, and then we'll bring it up above their heads. All right. So there's shape, and that goes into my traps. And so just so you know what's going to happen with this is I'm going to make it the material force field. And then so that makes it kind of look like this up here, but I will make it completely transparent before we are done. I'm going to add another part, move it here. All right, now we scale. We're going to try to take up a little bit more space. We're just going to do this in chunks, basically, until we get there. And then we'll merge it all together. And if you were to land on one of these, your character would instantly experience 0 health, which is the whole point. Traps for 3. One more. Just a couple more traps. I'm not overly concerned about any overlap that may be experienced there. Scale. So I don't want people to, die just from looking at this. Yeah, I'm gonna make that first one a little bit more shallow, so there's no risk of them, falling off the caution tape when they're screwing around at first and dying. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this area over here. So this one, I'll place it here and we'll scale it some more. Yeah, I think that'll be okay because there shouldn't be anybody roving around right there. In fact, I need to make the barrier wall a little bit better right there. I'll do that. Yeah, what I don't want to happen is that someone, I can fix that with a barrier. I'll do that. Make it where you cannot go there. So, okay, so that's my traps, basically, in a nutshell. So that takes up the volumetric area, and if you were to fall off of this caution tape bridge, when you touch that, you will die. So that does that for that one. Traps 3. So I will have to come back and add some barriers. I'll add a barrier here so that somebody doesn't walk into that accidentally. I'll also add a barrier here so that nobody walks into that accidentally. And then we'll move on for the next stage into 4. So I've got to have some ideas there. So if you guys have any ideas for another stage for this, remember it's in a parking lot, so things that are parking lot or post-apocalyptic themed. I haven't done a checkerboard yet, so if there's a way to incorporate some kind of checkerboard, that'd be kind of cool. Checkerboards or the ones that have like 3 or 4 paths and only 1 or 2 are good, the rest of them make you fall into a pit or something. I could probably incorporate that into here somewhere. So if you have any ideas on that, just comment below and let me know. I'll be more than happy to flesh them out, and we can probably get some of them incorporated this Obby. But anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know if you want to see this again, if this interested any of you guys. And be sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/NerdDadsLair, and we will catch you nerds later.